Right. If I can interrupt, I think so far, and maybe going into the fall, so far I think the election is has been the Koch brothers or Koch brothers versus Landrieu. I think that's really who's been on the ticket. Those are the candidates right now, and there's just an extraordinary amount of money that's come in to slam Mary Landrieu. And so I think, obviously, I mean, she was in the 50s. She was the most popular politicians in Louisiana, and now she is now in the with high unfavorables, low favorables, 41%. I mean, that's really, I think, what's turning it around, as well as what has happened with respect to the first couple of months of the Obamacare launch.
And I think I think you've got a very sophisticated audience watching hangouts like this, but we can't emphasize enough the importance of this election. It is very possible that the control of the United States Senate and the definition of the Obama presidency in the next 2 years could ride on who wins the Louisiana State Senate race. So there's a lot at stake, and therefore, as you pointed out, you mentioned the Koch brothers, we're going to see an enormous sum of money, both on the Republican side and the Democratic side, coming into Louisiana in the coming months. By August, September, you're going to be so sick of the TV spots, and they're going to be negative, and they're going to be slanted in a way that some innocuous group that has nothing to do with one party or the other, trying to go ahead and sway just a handful of votes to make the difference.
Taking off on that, I understand that they're going to, the Koch brothers are going to endorse an actress for U.S. Senator. Anyway, that was kind of a joke because of their commercial, where they have an actress who's saying that that she doesn't like politics, but the Obamacare is not about politics. Yet she's an actress paid by a bunch of people who want to put politicians in office.
I got to tell you that I was impressed with the spot. I thought it was a well-done spot. You might tell our listeners, too, about the Koch brothers, who they are. These are some very wealthy brothers who have made money in the energy industry and a number of other industries, and we're talking about multi-billionaires who've decided they're going to spend a lot of money and bring a conservative slant to what's happening in Washington, D.C. They're one of several groups. There's a guy named Sheldon Adelson, who's a huge gambling magnate worth about $30 billion. He spent $100 million in the last election. A couple of weeks ago, he had a little gathering out in Las Vegas, and all the Republican candidates just flocked there to pay him homage. So some of these high-rolling players have decided they want to get in. It's almost like there's several primaries now. There's the Adelson primary and the Koch brothers primary, and these recent Supreme Court decisions have opened it up where mega wealthy individuals can have a massive impact on the politics. And it's not just Republicans. On the Democratic side, really, he's not a Democrat, he's independent, but Mayor Bloomberg, former mayor of New York, is spending a great sum of money. There are George Soros, a very wealthy entrepreneur from the West Coast, is spending a lot of money on behalf of Democrats. So rather than, and what's happening, it's almost like we're irrelevant. If you're in Louisiana, all you do is get the right to maybe show up and vote, but we've lost control of these candidates because of all this massive money coming in from all over the country.
Right, exactly. And actually, we're going to do a hangout soon, I believe, and that is to discuss whether or not there should be a constitutional amendment to basically. I mean, I just can't see how a corporation is a person, and which was basically the underpinning of the Supreme Court case, allowing this massive amount of money to come in, whether it's Republican or Democrat. And I think that that's the only way that that democracy is going to ever get back into the political process. I think we've lost it. But let's talk about the poll a little bit more. And of course, we've mentioned the U.S. Senate race. And is there anything further that you see about that? I mean, obviously, again, 38% of people do not know, or roughly 38% of people do not even know of Cassidy. Mary Landrieu, who's dropped down significantly in the last year, largely because of Obamacare and largely because of this outside money. Is there anything else that you want to mention about it?
Well, I found this interesting. This question was asked: regardless of your political party, which party represents your political views?
Right.
52% Republican, 35% Democrat, and neither 8% undecided 5%. So it shows that even if these numbers are off 3 or 4%, that Louisiana is still looked on as a conservative state, a Republican state, a red state, if you will. And again, that gives a huge plus to Landrieu. She's always just squeaked out her reelection efforts among some run-of-the-mill opponents, no one who stood out particularly. Now you factor in for her, she's got to defend the president, who's so unpopular down here, and Obamacare that's so unpopular. So those two factors she's never had to deal with before. That's why if she's watching this right now, Ms. Landrieu, I think you better get on with your retail politics. You better get back home and forget being the big shot energy chairman. Get back home and take care of your politics, because right now they're not gelling very well.
And I agree with that. The thing is that the one thing we do know is that she is chair of the Energy Committee. We talked about that last hangout, and that's a position where she is. She is. Can she get away from that during the next couple of months? Obviously, they're going to have the summer break and the election break, but how much of that? How much can she get away from in terms of Washington, D.C.?
Well, if she doesn't, she's going to be the shortest-lived chairman of a Senate committee ever, because she's going to have it for a few months. Then she's going to be looking for something else to do with the rest of her life, because right now her back is against the wall,
Sure.
Probably more so than the other Democratic senator in the country, from what I can tell.
Well, I think there's a lot of Democrat senators who are in a big hole right now for a lot of different reasons, but that certainly can turn around. Now,